Hello, this is Kate, the Daily Tarot Girl, and welcome to your weekly tarot card reading. For this week's reading, I'm going to be reading with the Modern Witch Tarot by Lisa Sterle. All right, so if you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I post these videos every week, and I have made 3 tarot planning worksheets for you. If you like planning ahead and you like doing planning sheets, I've created 3 really fun tarot planning sheets for you to check out. I'll put the link below this video, and I'll also post it in the comments if you want to grab your free tarot planning worksheets. Okay, so let's dive into the reading. So I'll start with the first card, which is for the beginning of the week, so Monday, Tuesday-ish. And we have the Queen of Swords. And I should say that my intention with this reading is just to kind of get an idea of what the upcoming energies and opportunities are for the week ahead so that we can make the most of things. All right, so Queen of Swords for the beginning of the week. Now, I love the Queen of Swords. I particularly love this Queen of Swords. Now, I just naturally relate to the Queen of Swords, but this Queen of Swords is fun. She's got her white go-go boots. I feel like the last time I read with this deck, she came up, and I feel like she came up for the beginning of the week too. I'll have to go back and look at my video, but I remember getting this card recently. Okay, so Queen of Swords, she's definitely like a thinker, and she has this gift of looking at a situation and just, you know, being able to really focus on the facts and kind of tease out the important information versus the information that is not so important. And last week, Justice came up, and I feel like Justice and the Queen of Swords are actually very similar in a lot of ways. And I think when I was talking about Justice, I said she was about using discernment and good judgment. And the Queen of Swords is also about that, using good judgment and discernment. She's also a master communicator. And she knows how to communicate in this really truthful way. Like, she speaks her truth, and she does it in a really direct way. Now, it's not always the most gentle way of communicating. Sometimes, even though she's good at saying what's on her mind, she's good at like getting her point across, sometimes it can come across as a little bit pointed, a little bit harsh. And so people sometimes don't always hear the message like they should, because they're kind of reeling from the sting of her words. So a few things come to mind as I gaze at this card for the beginning of the week. So the beginning of the week is a good time for you to speak your truth and to communicate in a direct way. But just keep in mind, you don't want to be too harsh. You don't want to overthink what you're saying either, but just know that your words have power, and just kind of keeping that in mind so that you think of your words as being like the sword. Like, have you ever heard that phrase? The pen is mightier than the sword. The Queen of Swords understands that saying because her words are her weapon or her tool that she uses. Her words are very powerful. And so just being aware of that, knowing that your words have power, so that you need to be responsible with how you wield that power. So beginning of the week, great time to communicate and to do it in a very clear and direct way. This is also a good time, I think, to pay attention to the facts of a situation. See the facts, don't get distracted by other things. And if you're feeling confused or scattered or overwhelmed, write things down. This is what the Queen of Swords is telling me. She's saying, write things down, make a list, get organized. Okay, midweek. So Wednesday, Thursday-ish, we have the 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords this can come up if we are prone to overthinking things. And if you have the kind of mind that sometimes likes to spiral when it comes to worry, anxiety, negative thoughts, the kind of mind that will think of the worst case scenario and then go off on a tangent. You'll go off on a tangent in your own head, kind of weaving stories and what if this happened? What if that happened? Oh my God, what if that happened? That's kind of the energy of the Nine of Swords. And when it comes up in a reading, it's kind of a warning. It's saying, just be on the lookout for this. Your mind might be vulnerable to this kind of behavior. So your mind might want to spin stories, and you may feel a little more anxious than usual midweek, possibly. Just keeping an eye out for that. And so with the Nine of Swords comes an opportunity. And I love to point out that these swords in the background make a ladder. And it's that ladder of like climbing out of your own mind. And so when your mind starts to weave its stories, there's a number of things that you could do. You could simply say, stop doing this, and then distract yourself. Think about something else for 5 minutes. Do something else for 5 minutes, so that your mind doesn't become like this runaway train. The other thing you can do with the Nine of Swords here is don't always believe your own thoughts. So know that your mind is capable of weaving stories. So don't take those stories too seriously. I do think with the Nine of Swords, every time you find yourself worrying in a state of anxiety, there is an opportunity there to climb out of that one step at a time. Okay, let's look at card number 3. So this is for the end of the week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday-ish. And we have the King of Pentacles. So the Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles really balance each other out. They balance each other out quite nicely, I think. So the King of Pentacles is this particular king looks so young. It always kind of throws me a little bit because I think of the King of Pentacles as being older. And this King of Pentacles looks very youthful. But the King of Pentacles, he's a very grounded character. He's very grounded. He's very earthy, practical, sensible, very similar to the Queen of Swords. They're both practical characters. He's maybe not as witty as the Queen of Swords. He's not quick-minded and witty like she is, but he's very good at business and making money and growing things, like growing a business, growing his bank account, things like that. But what does the King of Pentacles mean for you? Why has this card appeared on the weekend, the card for the weekend? So this weekend is a good time to focus on kind of practical things, like taking care of your home, balancing your checkbook. I don't know if anyone actually uses a checkbook anymore, but you know what I mean. Balancing your budget, and thinking about, what are you wanting to grow? What are you wanting to nurture? The King of Pentacles is different from all the other kings in that he's actually very nurturing, kind of similar to like the Empress or even the Queen of Pentacles. Like he has this kind of nurturing kind of quality. And as I look at him, I notice he's sitting in this kind of relaxed way, and it looks like he's contemplating something. And then there's these bulls behind him. Now the bulls represent Taurus, the astrological sign of Taurus, but bulls can also be kind of stubborn. And so in some ways, the King of Pentacles can be a little bit stubborn. He's set in his ways. He's figured out who he is, what he wants, what's important to him, what works, what doesn't. And once he's kind of figured those things out, he's not very good at being flexible and changing his ways, and that can be challenging. That can kind of be his challenge. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I'm trying to think, how does this relate to you? How does this relate to your week? I think keeping in mind, like trying not to get too, I guess what I want to say is watch out for any stubborn tendencies you might have, any kind of stick in the mud sort of tendencies, because they don't always serve you well. Okay, I'm going to look at all three cards here. I feel like the King of Pentacles still has a message for us that I haven't unearthed yet. I mean, I think of him as being very like organized. Again, like that message of, with the Queen of Swords, I said if you're feeling overwhelmed, make lists, write things down. That's going to help you get organized. But I feel like the King of Pentacles, if I look at these three cards together, there is this kind of progression. And if I were to read these cards like a sentence, the Queen of Swords is saying, speak up and speak your truth. Communicate directly. Nine of Swords is what happens after you sometimes speak your truth. Like you're like, oh God, did I really say that? Did I do that? Oh no, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And you start panicking about like, what's going to happen now that I've said that thing, now that the cat is out of the bag. Oh no, you kind of second guess yourself and have some regrets a little bit. But then with the King of Pentacles, it's like, it's okay. Everything's going to be fine. There is this like calmness with the King of Pentacles. There's a stability with this card. That's the word I'm searching for, I think, stability. So you really want to embrace this idea of stability at the end of the week. Your weekend ideally should focus on creating stability, laying the foundations, kind of getting grounded, enjoying what stability you have in your life right now, really kind of leaning into that. And if you don't have enough, thinking about, okay, how can I bring in more of this? How can I create more stability for myself this week? Okay. Once again, I'm gonna zoom in with these cards, and I'm going to look at all three together. Now, I always invite you to share your own thoughts and your own interpretations on these cards, so feel free to do that in the comments below if that feels fun for you. And I'm just going to take another look at these cards. It's interesting. Everyone's looking in the same direction, so everyone's kind of facing the same direction. The King of Pentacles is facing forward, but his head is turned in the same direction as the other cards. There's thrones. We have thrones on the two cards on the end. I'm just looking for similarities here. And it feels like okay, so the Queen and the King on either ends of the reading, to me, feel quite confident. There's a stability here. Their thrones look like they're made of stone. There is this sense of confidence and stability with these two cards that are kind of bookending the week. And then the card in the middle is this card of maybe worry, anxiety, self-doubt, stress, etc. And I think that that's kind of the journey, the journey from being able to speak your truth to feeling confident and secure. And the Nine of Swords is just a little self-doubt, a little bit of anxiety, a little bump in the road on the way. It's not anything to worry about or to fixate on. I feel like there's still something else here that I want to say. And I feel like I don't want to end the reading until I figure out what that thing is. Once that thing has like kind of clicked into place. I don't know if you ever get that feeling when you're reading. When you're doing a reading for someone and you're just like, okay, I've read all the cards, but I feel like there's like just one more thing I'm missing. One thing that I'm searching for, and then I'm done. What is that one thing? And I think for me, as I look at these three cards, I'm really drawn to two things. Her outfit, the white boots, the cool dress she's wearing, and then I'm drawn to the brick wall in the background of the King of Pentacles. The brick wall, I feel, represents a boundary. And the King of Pentacles, he's confident, he's secure, he's good at drawing boundaries. He doesn't even think about boundaries like the way that people who struggle with boundaries talk a lot about boundaries and think about them a lot. King of Pentacles doesn't do that because it's just a natural thing that he does. He doesn't even think about boundaries. It's just something he has no problem with. But notice that the wall is short. It's not very tall. It's not going like all the way up here. It's just halfway. And this really shows how secure he is. And look how relaxed he is. He doesn't have to prove himself. He has boundaries, but those boundaries don't cut anyone off, if that makes sense. They're there, and people, even though he doesn't have that full brick wall all the way up to the ceiling, people rarely cross his boundaries. So that's something to note with the King of Pentacles. And I feel like he's saying, work on your confidence, work on nurturing your own confidence. And another message I get with this card is you don't have anything to prove to anyone. And I think this is why this king is so young looking. He's young, but he's confident. He's not insecure about being young. He's not insecure about looking kind of boyish. He doesn't have these huge brick walls surrounding him. He's relaxed. He's at ease with himself. And then I did say I was drawn to her wild outfit. I just feel like there's a fun side to the Queen of Swords that we rarely talk about. And I think you can have fun with your words. And for those of you who are kind of spicy with your words, like you're quick-witted, you're sharp-tongued, whether it's your words like through speaking or writing, I think have fun with it. And for those of you who like to write creatively, the Queen of Swords is saying, write something this week that is totally out of the norm for you. If you normally write about like poetry, or you write about nature or social issues, maybe write something spicy and sexy, or write some fantasy. Or if you normally write fantasy, write some horror or something like that. That's like totally different from what you normally do. Okay, so this has been your weekly reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you took something from it. I hope it inspired you in some way. And if you're interested in learning more about tarot, you can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put the link below. So again, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful week.